Thanks, Mike. So, what is the regional pilot? The Entrepreneur Immigration Regional Pilot supports regional communities to attract entrepreneurs with a desire to start businesses, create jobs, and settle in regional centers. The goals of the pilot are to support regional economic development priorities, attract foreign direct investment, and create local jobs, and also leverage local community knowledge and services so that foreign entrepreneurs are well supported to succeed. The regional pilot is a collaboration between the province and the regional communities. As each community has the best knowledge of their local business environment, they are perfectly equipped to identify the business opportunities and settlement support services that are available to newly arrived entrepreneurs. This will give you a good start in your journey to building successful businesses and to contribute to the local economy. So, what is the criteria for communities? In order to participate, the community must have a population of less than 75,000 and not be within 30 kilometers of a large population center of over 75,000. Even if a community meets eligibility criteria, this does not mean the community is involved in this pilot. Each community will decide whether to participate in the pilot. When the community enrolls to participate in the pilot, they must identify their 3 economic development priorities designated by North American Industry Classification System Code, known as NAICS. Please familiarize yourself with this term. NAICS is a comprehensive system for classifying economic activities. Communities can only refer entrepreneurs, such as yourselves, to the pilot who are proposing businesses that fall within one of their selected priority areas. This is critical to understand before you approach any community because each community will have different priorities. Communities have to demonstrate their readiness for the pilot. They will play an active role in attracting foreign entrepreneurs to their community, hosting exploratory visits, and making referrals to those entrepreneurs whose business proposals fit within the community's economic development needs. Updates to the pilot are expected to be posted on the BCPMP website by the end of March. This will include a list of participating communities, their profiles, including the 3 economic development priorities by NAICS, as I spoke about earlier, and a regional pilot program guide. The BCPMP registration system for the pilot is expected to go live at the same time. A pocket guide which summarizes the key elements of the entrepreneur categories, including this regional pilot, are currently available on our website. Okay, so applicant criteria for this pilot. These are the key criteria for you as a potential applicant for the regional pilot category. As mentioned earlier, active management is a mandatory requirement for the entrepreneur immigration stream. For the pilot, the applicant must also have a minimum net worth of $300,000. You must make a minimum investment of $100,000 from personal funds. You must create at least 1 job for a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. You must live in the community where you intend to establish the business, and it must be in the community that has provided you with a referral. You must provide proof of language proficiency at a Canadian Language Benchmark Level 4, CLB Level 4. More details will be available in our regional pilot program guide. So let me explain in more detail the language requirement. You must possess basic English or French language proficiency equivalent to Canadian Language Benchmark CLB Level 4 or higher in each of the 4 competencies. These are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The test must be one of the following official tests: The International English Language Testing System, you may be familiar with IELTS, general training. The Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program, you may be familiar with CELPIP, and Test d'Évaluation de Français, TEF. Test results are considered valid for 2 years from the date of issuance. You are required to submit a valid language test result showing that you meet the minimum requirement with your registration. This is very important that it's included in your registration. Communities may request evidence prior to inviting you to an exploratory visit. This is very important because, again, each community may have their own requirements, and it is critical that you are familiar with these communities before taking any steps. Even if you are a native English or French speaker, you must complete an official language test. At this time, the base program category does not have a language requirement. Now I will outline the business criteria for the regional pilot. So your business proposal, when you're putting your proposal together, please bear this in mind. Only new businesses are eligible under this pilot. If you are interested in purchasing an existing business in BC, you may be eligible under our base category, but not this pilot. The proposed business must be within one of the 3 NAICS, as we spoke earlier, identified as a priority by each community. The applicant must be the controlling shareholder of the new business, with a minimum ownership of 51%. The applicant may propose a partnership. A list of ineligible business types was provided earlier in this webinar by Mike and is also available in our pocket guide on our website. Community officials must avoid all conflict of interest. They cannot be involved in the business ownership nor receive personal or financial benefits as a result of approval of your application. If a conflict of interest is found at the time of application, the BCPNP will refuse your application. Please note that any investment made by yourselves prior to an invitation to apply will not be recognized as an eligible investment. So, the regional pilot is not suitable for every applicant. The ideal applicant is a successful and experienced entrepreneur who typically has 5 years of ownership experience with matching qualifications and education, is investment ready, meaning that you have enough personal net worth and liquid assets for immediate investment, is prepared, meaning you have done the necessary research and preparation and are ready to implement the business in the community, and that you are confident in the proposed business model. You have direct or related experience, are ready to be involved directly, and will actively manage the operations. And you can speak about the business with a vision and passion. You are adaptable. You can adapt to the community's business culture and environment. I cannot emphasize enough that communities will be very selective in order to find the right applicants to meet their economic needs. Their screening process will be separate from the BCPNP assessment. Please familiarize yourself with both processes. So now we'll talk about the application process. Under the pilot, we have incorporated these additional steps highlighted in orange to position participating communities and entrepreneurs such as yourselves for success. Ensure that you meet the BCPNP program criteria before starting to engage with a community. The additional steps before you register: please find the right community by studying the community profiles once they're posted. Only then request an exploratory visit. Request a community referral after you have completed this step, if you are successful. We will now go into more detail about these steps. So first, find the right community. Do your research. Review the community profiles on our website and the community-specific website links to learn about the community's location, population, size to determine your fit with the community. Know the NAICS that I mentioned earlier that the community has selected for the purpose of the pilot. Communities who have enrolled to be part of the pilot will have identified their own 3 specific economic development priorities by this NAICS code. These will be listed on their profile and will be different for each and could be different for each community. Determine if your proposed business is aligned with the community's economic priorities. Ask yourself if the community is a fit with your intended business, experience, lifestyle, and is suitable for your family. Okay, so once you've selected the best suiting participating community for you, reach out to the contact for that community. Be aware the community profiles on the BCPMP website will be of only those participating in the pilot. Do not approach communities outside of this list for the purpose of this pilot. Discuss your business idea with the community contact. Learn more about the local market, suppliers, etc. Understand the local economy and the regional realities. And now for our next poll. So what should I do before contacting a community? Please select one of these choices. Okay, so all of the answers were correct except for buying an existing business, which is not eligible under this pilot. As a reminder, you will need a language test result at the time of registration. And as I said earlier, some communities may ask for this before you meet them. It is highly encouraged that you complete a language test beforehand, as communities may ask for it, as I stated, for it before an exploratory visit. Each community is responsible for managing the exploratory visit under this pilot. Please be respectful of the communities and do not show up unannounced. If you have not been invited to visit the community contact will not be available to meet with you. If you have been invited, you will have to conduct an exploratory visit in person to the community and meet with the community contact. This is a mandatory requirement under the pilot. Communities will be managing their own invitations for the exploratory visit under this pilot. These may only be scheduled at certain times and frequency by them. Please connect with the community before taking these steps to avoid confusion and unnecessary travel costs. You must visit the community yourself to learn firsthand about opportunities and local business environment. This is also an opportunity for you to see for yourself what it will be like living and doing business in this community. During your appointment with the community contact, they will have an opportunity to learn more about you and your business idea. Be prepared to discuss your business with the community contact. You will be expected to have a business concept or plan when you meet with the community contact. You may be considering multiple communities for your business. You may be asked by the community contact if you're visiting multiple communities. Be honest about your intentions. You can only have one active registration, so you will need to select your destination community, your final destination community, in order to complete and submit your registration. The community profile will include an email address of how to contact the community. Communities may screen potential entrepreneurs using online forms and request additional information. If you want to propose a business idea and to find out about the expectations of a community, You can send an email to the community contact. The community contact may ask for more background information to decide whether to invite you for an exploratory visit. So entrepreneurs must have a referral from a community to register for the pilot. Individuals can request a referral from a community. It is up to the community to decide whether to refer an entrepreneur based on fit for their community. An exploratory visit and meeting with a community contact does not mean that you will automatically be referred. Communities must also set targets for the number of referrals that they will issue based on their ability to support new entrepreneurs under this pilot. You should not seek more than one referral at a time. Choose the community that is the best match for your proposed business and your family, because you can only have one active registration with the BCPMP. If the community decides to refer you, they will provide you with a signed referral form. They will also provide a copy to the BCPMP. You can then register for the regional pilot and upload a copy of your referral form. Once we receive your registration, we will assess it based on our program criteria and notify you of your score. Highest scoring registrants will be invited to apply. Receiving a referral does not guarantee that you will be invited to apply. So we're going to poll a question, and we'll give you a couple of seconds to complete that. What is the role of the community in the regional pilot? Okay, so all of the above were correct except the last one, because the BCPMP has the responsibility to assess and make the selection decision. Okay, we'll go through the application process for the regional pilot. It is similar to the application process for the base program, except for the initial steps highlighted in orange. Now that you've gone through the presentations, let's go through the preparation, Let's go through the registration stage. Registration scoring under the pilot is prioritized. You will receive a score within 4 weeks. The invitation stage is where invitations will be issued more frequently to the highest scoring registrants. The application stage, where applications will be prioritized and processed within 3 months. The work permit and business establishment stage is where you are expected to establish your business within 6 months of your arrival, and you may submit your final report as soon as 12 months after you arrive. This is shorter than under our base category, which requires a final report after 18 months. The nomination decision stage is where we will make a decision regarding your nomination within 4 months of receiving the final report. This will include a site visit to your business by a program advisor. The permanent resident stages under the federal government, the federal government is responsible for assessing your application for permanent residency. You must maintain your own immigration status and continue to meet the conditions of our nomination during the permanent residency application process. Once again, I really want to reiterate that the BCPMP is solely responsible for the assessment of applications. It is not the community's responsibility or role to provide immigration information or answer immigration questions. All questions related to BCPMP should be directed to the program through our inbox that Mike stated earlier. The email address is available on our website. So now